do. Live chat. Good morning. It is Fed Day. Wednesday, April 10th. Well, CPI. It's CPI. CPI day. I gotta turn on Do Not Disturb. Okay, on. Save. Morning, Chris. Soundhound AI stock slides. Ho ho ho. That's big. Sound diluting investors, which pushes it down to 8%. Hoofa. This is what you get into. Play with the big boys. Get blown up big. Bigly. Taiwan Semi, medical products on sale for 5 facilities. NASDAQ ahead of don't sweat. NVIDIA's recent slide is a refreshing noise. Oh, that's an interesting one. B of A says we're going to put that into. Okay. It's all about yeah. I mean, the valuation just isn't there. I don't, I just can't imagine I just can't imagine that the value is anything other than $2. Oh, there's new alpha picks. Portfolio review. There we go. I probably should. For anybody who wants it. That's, let's just go over here and alpha picks, copy. Let's see. There we go. Do alpha picks, new portfolio review, new stuff to do. Okay, I've got enough, so we can do scans before CPI, which is in a few minutes. Morning, Mike. Ooh, look at Apple teasing us. Scans, AAPL, Microsoft, Costco, PanW, Walmart. Bitcoin and crypto. That's going to be a nice little list. Let's see. Crypto, Beth, BITW. We got the core investments already. Let's do brokerage holdings. Snap. Snap has a cross up. And everything else I own. Yes, everything else is in the core portfolio. Okay. Covered call ETFs. I probably should just leave that. QILD. I'm just going to put that in the regular list. Covered call energy names. Let's see. I think I've gotten a few more. Energy, EQT, SCO, Arch. Levered ETFs. UCYB, MAGX, TPST, TARK. Low cost Vanguard. We're going to put these low cost ETFs. VSS, VXUS. Spider sectors, anything XLRE, XLU. Ooh, utilities may be getting a a bounce. Let's see about the watch list. Lulu, GLBE, EQT is already in there. Costco is already in there. PayPal, Path, Rivian, Twilio, Duolingo. Quite a bit in the watch list. Let's see anything in the not owned. Plug. I won't even promote that. I should probably just take that out. Zoom. Penn National. QDEL I won't put in. Moderna is an interesting one. AI. C3 AI. Sedge. KWeb. Cisco, which will come up on the Dow. Rocket Mortgage. Wayfair. BITW I have. Best Buy. BBY. CRISPR. Ring Central. No, I'm not going to do that one. Zebra, Starwood, Rivian. PBW, which is, yeah, that's the clean energy one. RKK. BIIB. PRNT, I think that's the 3D. Yeah, 3D printing ETF. I mean, imagine, look at that range. I mean, that is so silent. Oof. It's just between 2150 and 2250. Okay, here we go. We're going to go back to strategy tester. And we're going to go to 5 minute. And I'm going to do after hours, data, extended hours. Done. We'll go to QQQ. 5 minutes. Oh. 0.4. Oh. Inflation hotter than expected. Hotter than expected. Let's go to 1 minute. Took off to the downside. Remember I said 440 was kind of a... See how 440 is where it's been trading? CPI hotter than expected. Crashed markets. Takes the June rate cut off the table. Year over year, 3.5 versus 3.4. Okay, which means we got to go to Seeking Alpha and CPI hot in March. Bum, bum, bum. Okay, let me turn on. Do not disturb. And looking at what we were covering. Here's the extended 4 hours. Hold on. Okay. Which one do you want? You want this one? Okay. There you go. Yields jump, futures plunge. Morning, John. Charlie Schwab is, I don't know. I mean, I'll look at Schwab. Depends on your tolerance, your risk tolerance. This is a big move, obviously down here. We're only 4 minutes. The next candle that shows up is going to be down here. You've lost confirmation. On the 1 minute candle, you haven't gotten it even back. You're kind of fluttering around 437. Now, if we go back to the 4 hour and we look at where I put those two in, you're trading at 436 right at the 200 day. The 200 period, I should say. I keep saying day, but it's the 200 period. That's going to provide you some support, and that's the way it's been, 436. Now, if you want to buy the Qs here, have at it. I don't think it's a bad one. I mean, the Qs are down, let's see. No, that's already outdated. That's yesterday at 1:30. That's already outdated. This is exactly what it is. It's commodity driven. Let's see. Yeah. Let's see. Futures, treasuries. Everything's down. Yesterday, financial services down. Okay, let's look at Schwab real quick for you, John. Or actually, I gotta finish. Let me finish these scans. Took the market down. Market scanner. We did the not owned. Now we're gonna do the Dow. I only have 3 things to do: the Dow, the NASDAQ, and the S&P. Visa, Walmart, Apple, Microsoft, Cisco already have all the rest. Let's look at NASDAQ. Cisco, Illumina, ADP, TXN, Workday, GFS, EA, BIIB, on Semi, Lulu, Pen, W, Cost, WBA. I'm not even going to include that one. Moderna and PayPal. Okay, we got all of those. We're going to look at the S&P. Applied materials. Danaher, Duke Energy. I can't put Philip Morris in there. USB, TXN, Walmart. Okay. We're going to go back to the strategy tester and do. This doesn't include after hours. After hours, you are trading right now at 435. So 435 is right about here. You're trading in this range. I mean, there's no... Man, why does my garbage can go from one side of my property to the other when they come and pick it up? I don't know. SMCI down another 4%. You're getting things down 2%. Apple is down 0.5. Apple's holding up probably the best out of them all because it's already at a bottom. Bank of America down 1.75. I mean, everything's getting killed. QQQ is down 1.36. It's getting killed. The soft landing has been debunked. So let's look at Schwab. It's probably down 2% as well. Down 1.73. So is it a sell before earnings? I mean, it depends on what your time frame is, Charlie. Schwab, look at it weekly. I mean, you've just crossed the 200-day. Is it a sell on the weekly? No, you still have confirmation. You're still up there. What are they going to report? Who knows? But look at the RSI at 67. It's a little high. You know, the last year you can see it just took a, you know, the MACD was up here, but that was just an anomaly of, hey, we've got banking problems, and then it slowly came back. You know, if you're looking for a support level, I would probably look at it around 70 from 72. So I don't think, wow, it's just getting worse. This is the sell-off you want. Because you know what? This is the news that I mean, you know, was it Matt Damon and the crypto things? Fear is, you know, what was, let me see, what was the Matt Damon crypto quote? Fortune favors the brave. Fortune favors the brave. There you go. Oh, I don't want it. I'll get a copyright claim. So Schwab, Charlie, I don't know. I mean, my guess is that Schwab is fine because I do think that it probably comes back to this 86 level. And that's what I was saying back here. I think you've got 27% in this one. You look at Seeking Alpha. It's got, I think it's a hold, if I'm not mistaken. Might be a buy. Hold. The valuation. Here's the thing you have to know about the valuation. Yeah, price to sales, price to book, not great, but they're pegged, they're growing. 0.83 versus a sector median of 1.34. So, yeah, the PE is a little bit high. I mean, you know, compared to the sector, it's a little bit high. But I don't think it's a crazy outrageous. If you want financials, then Hood is your number one right now in the quant. But look, they're all yellow. I mean, they're all in the quant yellow. It's not like financials have a, you know, right now the financials have just run a lot. Tesla is on watch. Do I want to include Tesla? No, we've talked about Tesla enough. Yeah, we'll put in this one because this is more about the chips. TSM, Intel, Yawn, Qualcomm. Okay. Let's see. Had a nice pop yesterday, but it's going to give most of it back today, I imagine. I'm starting to wonder if the correction is imminent, though. Pan W, I'm still holding. It wasn't long ago that Pan W was a buy anywhere under $200. I mean, we can go back and it wasn't that long ago. This was August. It dipped down to 220. I mean, back last summer around this time, I said, buy it under $200. It's still good. You've just got some weakness there in the 50-day. I mean, this one plays around the 50-day. Look at that on the weekly. Okay? When you got under the 200-day, oh my God, buy it. When you get further under the 50-day, oh my God, buy it. I don't think that they are getting their hands tossed to them by CrowdStrike. That's the problem that you have is which one's going to be the biggest winner? Is it CrowdStrike or is it Pan W? Now, CrowdStrike has been trading in this range right here since February. I kind of outlined that I think this is the range that we're going to trade in. Do you come all the way down there? I don't know. I mean, I added more at about 320 or so. So yeah, I don't think it's nuts to think that CrowdStrike could take Pan W. If we go over to Seeking Alpha and we look at Pan W, Quant has it as a buy. The valuation is the only thing that's bad about it. You look at the peg, it's a little bit high. You look at the peg trailing 12 months, it's super, super low. You look at, and we'll look at Crowd before we go to see the same thing, valuation. But this one's a hold, and it's probably just because it's even more expensive. Same forward peg. But when you look at charting, and you look at, we will select symbols, Pan W, put those two in there. Update chart, look at the 1 year. I mean, 1 year, it's clear who's the winner. Year to date, clear who's the winner. You look at 6 months, clear who's the winner. 1 month, both of them losers. 5-day, clear who's the winner in the 5-day. So it really depends on your time frame. I mean, CrowdStrike here, 3 year. Pan W's killing them. So is John, I would say I don't know that Pan W is not going to get back to 300, but I would probably move towards more of an equal weighting of both of these in your portfolio. It's kind of where I'm going. I right now hold more Pan W than I do CrowdStrike, but I do believe that CrowdStrike probably beats out Pan W. That's my guess. Berkshire's a great one. Berkshire's just, Berkshire should be in a portfolio. I mean, look at, 1 year it's beating the S&P, 3 year it's beating the S&P, 5 year it's beating the S&P, 10 year it's beating the S&P. Year to date, beating the S&P. 6 month, it's kind of matching the S&P. 1 month, beating the S&P. 5 days, it's down below the S&P. So I think Berkshire's a buy no matter where it's at. Let's see, where is it a buy? Yeah, it's a strong buy. Berkshire's just one you should buy. I mean, the valuation's not crazy. Ranked number 1 out of 4. What are the 4? It's all Berkshire. Canay Holdings. I don't even know what it is. It's Berkshire A and Berkshire B. Multi-sector holding stocks. That's all it is. But it's AXP I would be a little bit careful about. I think this one's it's a hold, and it's run so much. It is trailing on the peg below its sector. It's 10 out of 38. Synchrony Financial is the number one. Capital One Financial, that's a good one. But AXP, the only reason I would be weary of AXP is not because it's bad, but that run. Algo has you out. It's not horrible, on the short term. This has been the range since 2002. That's it. I said this probably in October where I put this one in, this range. It's definitely one that you want to take a look at because the run has been so strong. If we go to a monthly and we even go back, you're at all-time highs and significant all-time highs. It's not like, hey, if you're adding to this one, it's a horrible one. But they have such a hold on the upper-end consumer. Uber's a good one. I think Uber unnecessarily got dinged on the robo-taxi. It's super weak right now. But if you're looking at it to come back down to this $70 gap to fill, add to it. Absolutely add to it. I think anything under 80 on Uber is perfectly fine. If we look at Uber here, I'm going to start the podcast too because we're close to 9 o'clock. Uber, strong buy. Uber's a good one. Okay. We're going to open up all of these. Okay, I'm going to open up all of the links. Let me just see real quick. Okay, that one's up. That one's up. Let's go to TrendSpider. Product, plans and pricing. There we go. We're going to go home. Let me see if there's any insider stuff. Lifeway Foods. Those are small dollar amounts. GigaCloud, chief executive just sold $1 million worth. Insider buying. Insider buying from GME. Oh, come on. You're telling me $112,000 is news? What? $112,000 is not news at 11:22, and you're trading at 11:01. That's not news. Come on. Stop it. Look at the PE. Look at the forward PE. No. 6.6. They're not making. Come on. Stop. You're being silly, Finviz. Scott, AXP has been a great investment. And I do think that's one of those that you look back on it and you're like, oh my God, the consumer, the top end consumer was way positive. Should have seen it. It was clear and obvious. There's no way we shouldn't have seen that one. So that's just one of those where you take a look at it and good God, here's the thing. Buy Google. There are so many political ads going on my screen when I go and watch a video now. There's no way they don't kill it with the ad revenue from YouTube. They're going to kill it. Okay, so let's go. We're going back to the Qs. We're at 436. I think let's look at extended hours. And we're going to go 5 minute. Okay, I'm going to hit record. Good morning. It is Wednesday. It is CPI day. That is Consumer Price Index. And if you've been on with me on YouTube, you know Consumer Price Index came in hotter than expected. I got to redo that. Mother effer. I did not open up the damn links. Why is this not opening up? Douchebag, why are half of these not opening up? I know it's white. They ain't opening up. Damn it. I gotta close all these now. Boom, boom, boom. You did not freeze. Do not worry, your screen did not freeze. Okay, SoundHound. After SoundHound, we went to Costco. And it's stuck. It's stuck. Oh, that's why. Hold on. It's stuck. No. We're going to redo this. It screwed up the link. So we've got to open up a new link. Costco may be sitting on a bunch of gold. Damn it, man. Copy, paste. And then Seeking Alpha Qualcomm is fine. And then this one is not. Okay, this one is Intel. So we go to Seeking Alpha. And we go to Intel. And there's a story on Intel that I was going to, don't sweat NVIDIA's. Intel unveils. That's this one. There we go. And we're going to open up this one, which is Don't Sweat NVIDIA's. And then this is another NVIDIA that got blown up. Let's go to NVIDIA. I should have put in. That is AR Darling enters territory, correction territory. We're going to close this down. And then Taiwan Semi. Mother effer. It didn't know. You see, it's. This is Taiwan Semi. TSM. AI boom. We'll copy that. Mother effer. And then we're going to open up this one, which won't open up. So we'll go to Seeking Alpha and it's delta. And we'll copy this. And alpha picks, we're going to go over here. And we'll go to alpha picks. And then we're going to open up this. And then we're going to open up this. And then we're going to start with this. Yeah, SMCI, I mean, GOOG is what we buy because you'll never have voting rights with GOOGL. And GOOG is what they buy. They buy back themselves. So GOOG. SMCI is just going to get killed with anything that's run is going to get pulled back, and that, we're moving backwards. So I think SMCI is a buying opportunity. But okay, so let me start this over. Okay, I'm going to start my energy over. I'm going to include that little portion because it is CPI day. I just did not have any of my articles open. But here's the article that I was going to show. CPI inflation stays hot in March. It was 0.4% month over month versus a 0.3% expected, 3.5% yearly versus 3.4% yearly expected. So what does that cause? Well, take a look at the Qs in the aftermarket. Here is a 5-minute candle with the aftermarket. You can see when it was announced at 8:30, this immediately dropped down. Where does that put us? Well, let's take a look at the range that I said we were going to trade in if we saw a pullback. So you see this range between essentially 430 and 440. Where are we right now? 436. We dipped down to 435 or 434 on the Qs. That's the range that you want to buy in. So does this mean buy? Absolutely it means buy. Look at that 4-hour. The MACD is just on the oscillator. The RSI is in no man's land at 50. We are due for a pullback. Look at this. If we pull back to the 50 moving period, then we're at 390. That 430 just pulls us even closer to the 21 day. It's under the 9 day. Do we get a turnaround? Well, look at the MACD. The MACD is telling us, hey, it might be time for a turnaround. But what's happened every time we've come down by a couple of percentage points? You've gone up afterwards. So what do you want to do? You're at 435 right now on QQQ. I think what you want to do is you want to trade this. If you're looking to enter, trade it on a 5-minute basis. Just go to 5 minutes on the after hour. We can go to 5 minutes and we can open this up and we can go to data and we can display extended hours for this. And if you trade this on a 5-minute, once it gets above that 5-day, or that 5-period moving average, I'm sorry, that's a 9-day. Once it gets above that 9-day period moving average, you buy a little because Qs isn't something that you're necessarily trading. TQQQ is something that you're trading. Qs are something that you're adding to your portfolio during the dips, but you don't want to just add it nilly-willy. You want to have a plan to add it. So 3.5% year over year. This takes June most likely out of the territory of hey, we're going to have a rate cut. Moves it more towards July. Moves it more towards 0 rate cuts this year. So I think the market is getting smart about this in that, hey, we're not going to anticipate rate cuts. We're going to wait for the data because between now and June, there's only one more data set, and that's April's CPI data. The May CPI data comes on the morning of the June meeting, so they don't have time to actually look at the data from June. You can't tell me that there's not going to be some leak of data to the Fed department in June, but it takes it off the table. I just don't think that you time that one very well. Best movers. Oh, this is good. So my day starts with taking a look at the Seeking Alpha app. This is just a screenshot My morning starts with the quant rating system from Seeking Alpha. I own Uber, I own BLDR, and I will be buying TREX. TREX is an industrial, which I actually think is a good buy. What is TREX? Well, let's go to Seeking Alpha because this is part of Seeking Alpha Premium. Is that those quant scores. And this is a recent upgrade in the quant score for TREX. It's an industrial. It's building products. And if you go down here, you can see what they do. You scroll down and you can see manufacturers distributes composite decking, railing, and outdoor living products and accessories for residential and commercial markets. These are the fake wood products. This has been huge. I mean, this chart is just really, really good. Valuation is a D. But for those of you that have watched my interview with Steve, we look at that forward gap. Well, the gap, it's 2.21. Industry is 1.74. Yes, it's trading higher, but it's got a D on valuation. Everything else moves it higher. Well, when did it get a strong buy? We can go and look at it. Just got a strong buy here at 93. In pre-market, it's at 93.85. You can take a look at this. Look at the history of this. It hasn't had a strong buy. It's been a hold. It just got a strong buy in the quant. If you want to look at the Wall Street ratings on this one, $96. The average target price is $100. You have 4% upside on this one. Average price target is $4. Look at how it hugs that price target. Now, this price target way back in 2022 was 128. So maybe you have more room if the consumer is willing to put more money in. We can go to the summary, which includes some type of seasonality. Again, this is all Seeking Alpha Premium. Seasonality, you can see in April, it's not very, it's up, 6.4% in median. The mean is 4.41. May, it's down. So maybe you want to wait until May to buy it because then you've got 3 summer months that are absolutely positive. Maybe that's the play that we want to do is we want to buy it in May. So T-Rex, this is how you can use Seeking Alpha Premium. If you go to my link tree, Seeking Alpha Premium, get a $50 off. Seeking Alpha Premium, 20% off your membership. I think it's $189. That's how I start my day. And this is how you look at stocks. These are most recent, latest quant strong buys. So, and you can look at the score. It's a 0 to 5 score. That's how I start my day. Biggest movers of the day. Delta Airlines climbed 5% after topping consensus on Q1. PriceSmart rose 5% following full quarter 2 results, the company's announcement. Biggest losers, Smart Global Holdings plunged 7%. We can look at, this is good. Delta is, I'm going to do Delta right now before I do the alpha picks. But Delta right now, I think it was up 5%. We can look at it real quick. It is up 2%. It's taken a dip. The algorithm makes you 69% in Delta versus 27% just buy and hold. This 4-hour algorithm, if you don't have it, sign up for TrendSpider. Again, use the link tree. Here are the prices, $74.40 per month. They have a 63% off sale right now, 25% off if you just do the monthly for $149. What you do is you go over to my link tree, use that top link, and then you can use the email to email me and tell me, hey, I signed up. This is the email address I used to sign up. Be sure to include that. And hey, send me your welcome letter that includes the 4-hour algorithm, the 65-minute algorithm, all of the watch list, the custom watch list, and the scans that I will include later this year, later in this episode. But here's Delta. If you bought it $38 on the algorithm back here in January 24th in the afternoon, right now you're up 24%. And let's see where you are with today's move, 48. You're up 27%. 27% in 75 days. Again, if you just follow the quant, the average win is 16%. So get ready for a little bit of a pullback if we open up with the gap here. If we do gap, again, you have to wait for the candle to actually close in order to gap. But Delta, great earnings. You can read about it here in Seeking Alpha. For those of you with alpha picks, there is a new portfolio review. So this article provides a portfolio review. If you don't have alpha picks, it is one of the links on the link tree right down here. The third link, alpha picks is basic. It's 2 data-driven stocks. We got one at the first. We'll get one on the 15th. They alert you when to sell these stocks. The stock picks cover multiple sectors, access to over 20 stocks on the first day, and you get all of the analysis. And what they do is they put all of this analysis right here for you. If you're new to stock picking, then you really want to try something like this service. And it's a good service to get into because AlphaPix is up 124% versus the S&P is up 37% at the same time. Now, how do you use AlphaPix? Well, you go to that About section, and it will tell you there's a few new strategies. Buy at least 5 of them. Buy the entire portfolio, which you can do with the Portfolio tab, or use AlphaPix as an idea generation tool. Either one of those 3 works. Again, you get a discount when you use my link. It's $449 for the year, but there's a significant amount of people that signed up through my program back in February when it was a lower price. So, but that's AlphaPix. Taiwan Semi. Let's talk about chips, because what chip do you want to invest in? Well, Taiwan Semi is actually the one that creates, it's called a fab. And we can talk about Intel after this, but because Intel is building fabs here in this country, Taiwan Semi is building fabs here in this country. But Taiwan Semi Q1 revenue surges amid AI chip boom. They are producing more chips. That's good for all of the chip companies. You won't see it today, but you will see it over time that these chip companies are selling more. Well, what's up today? Taiwan Semi's down 0.22. This one has had quite a run. I've said here that the support is 141.34. It's trading at 145. That's your support level right there that I think you could go with. It's pulled back here on the MACD, not as significant a pullback here on the actual chart. But it's a little messy right now. But Taiwan Semi blew it away on their first quarter revenue. So you want to take a look at that. Artificial intelligence increase. AI darling, we can talk about NVIDIA because NVIDIA entered correction territory. Read this article. Here's the Magnificent Seven. You can look at this. The chipmaker stock ended 2% lower. Where's NVIDIA now? Well, NVIDIA is at 835. I've got these 2 support levels here at 744 and 691. Those are 2 support levels that include this gap right here. But I do think that those are support levels that you could use. Are you buying now? No. The algorithm has you out. I would not buy NVIDIA right now. Doesn't mean that you won't get some type of news from NVIDIA that, oh my God, we're going to go up. The Qs right now are down 1.55. NVIDIA down 2%. SMCI down 4%. Anything that's run is getting hurt even more than the Qs. That's the basis of it. Qualcomm is down 2.6. That we'll talk about that one in a little bit. Here is NVIDIA. Do you want to buy NVIDIA? I'd say right now, no. I am going to add more to NVIDIA. If you want, you could add it here at 850. There's a slight gap here down to 824. The valuation on NVIDIA is not crazy. We can look at it here. We'll go into the quant. NVIDIA right now is a hold in the quant, and it's probably based on valuation and growth. We went over this on the interview with Steve, how NVIDIA, even though SMCI is still a buy, the valuation on NVIDIA is an F. And you can look at the forward gap. That's his favorite one, and it's trading 50% below. So the choice is, hey, is this one have people started ordering this, or are they double ordering like they were? There seems to be a cyclical pattern in chips where companies will double and triple order, and then NVIDIA is sitting there with a stockpile of inventory, and they have to get rid of it at a discount. And then there's new chips, and do the people upgrade to new chips? Is the boom that big? NVIDIA again last year, they saw an incredible amount. They're moving to a software. What's the number one in the semiconductor stocks? It's Taiwan Semi. We talked about how they blew it away. NVIDIA is now number 8, Micron number 9, Qualcomm number 10, AMD number 5. I would argue that I would rather own NVIDIA than AMD. I would rather own Micron than AMD. I would rather own Qualcomm than AMD. I own Broadcom, AVGO. Do I own any of these other ones? Intel is number 19. We'll go into that one because Intel This is another one. Don't sweat NVIDIA's recent slide to refreshing noise from B of A. I continue to say that NVIDIA is a buy at the right time. I don't think that NVIDIA is a buy. If you don't have exposure, just freaking buy it. Buy it at $835 right now. You can buy it at $835. I do think that $820 kind of price point comes into play. Doesn't mean that long-term this isn't going to be another winner. I think NVIDIA has a super, super strong lead over everybody in AI. And I don't think that that's getting crushed in the sense that, the problem is May was their good quarter last year. You go back to May, look at how it started to rise in May of last year. We can go back to May here on this 5 minute. Let's go to the weekly. The weekly is easier to look at May. Look at where we broke out. This is September 2022 right there. But what happened in May of last year? It was trading at $300. This one just shot up, put in a little shelf, then shot up. You might be just putting in a little shelf right here before it shoots up again. That very well may be what you're doing. Because remember, this one coming down on the 50-day here on the weekly, it's a good one. Your MACD has never been this high. Your RSI has been this high, but it's currently falling. So wait for this one. Just wait. Don't sweat. But again, Bank of America says, don't sweat it if you want to know why. Read that article. Intel unveiled their Gaudi 3 AI Gaudi. I don't know what it is. Setting up race with NVIDIA. Yawn. This is the third iteration of this chip. Intel is putting out this, and it's just yawn. You're not investing in Intel for their chips. You're investing in Intel for the future of the fabrication business. And that's what you're doing. And the fabrication business, like they said, they lost $7 billion or something like that, and it's not going to be positive. It's a long game with NVIDIA. You're not investing in this one for the short term. If you want to invest it in the short term, I don't think it's a horrible thing. It's just the valuation is still crazy in the short term. This is, again, one that you want to trade long term. Do you want to buy it now? Absolutely not. Am I adding to this? I bought a bunch at 46, I believe. Right before the earnings went up, 49.50, should have sold. I bought it at 46. We've got a gap down here. We've started to fill it at 45. Are you coming back to that gap? I don't know. I mean, again, this MACD is super low. Are you adding it now? No. The algorithm doesn't have you in. The algorithm will get you in. Their earnings are coming up on April 25th. But that chip news, yawn. Nothing about it. Again, we talked about NVIDIA is the number one chip play. I think AMD is your number two chip play. I think your number three chip play is Qualcomm. But overall, I think you invest in Taiwan Semi because everybody's going to Taiwan Semi to produce their chips. So Qualcomm is in the core portfolio. It has been a winner. It's currently a hold in the quant. Why is it a hold in the quant? Well, it's probably the valuation. The valuation is a C minus. And if we go over here and we look at the PEG, again, it's trading below the industry, which is 1.96, 1.6. But the valuation is just, it's a C. It's not a D. This isn't something where you're buying it where it's crazy. If we look at Qualcomm, it is down 2% at 172. I was pounding the table when this one was at 105. I said it is worth way more than 105. Even down here, people were saying 108 for Qualcomm. I can get it under 100. Well, you could have, but you didn't. 170, 47 was the buy. Right now, you're trading at 172. If we go and we look at a weekly on this one, we're going back to the all-time highs at 200. That's where you're going. We haven't even had a golden cross on the weekly. But last time we had a golden cross on the weekly, it immediately dropped down. The 50 didn't move down, but you moved from 74 down to 48. I mean, that was the last move when you had a golden cross. It didn't cross back under until 2023. I mean, that move was way back in 2018. 2023, it came under. You had plenty of trading opportunities, but this one, in my mind, is not a trade. Again, it's the core portfolio. Do you want to buy it now? It's a little bit extended. You might come down here to about the 150s. That may be what you come down to. You may come down here to 168, but if you want exposure to the chip segment, I think Qualcomm's a good one. NVIDIA is in the core portfolio. AMD is not. The reason AMD is not is because it's always been a bit extended. But Qualcomm, I think, is a good one. Mike Wilson upgraded XLE. And I don't have a story on this one. I probably should find it, but I don't have a story. He upgraded XLE. Just know this is the range of XLE that I see. You haven't hit the all-time high at 101. 93 is your support level. He upgraded Mike. Just so everyone knows, Mike Wilson is the biggest bear who's been calling for the last 15 of the two recessions. So, I mean, he calls a recession every other time that the Dow even slipped. I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if he came out. He's not doing overall analysis. He stepped back from that. But I like Mike Wilson, provides incredible research, provides support for all of his justifications. But I just think he's too bearish. But he upgraded XLE. Now, there's a couple of stocks. I will include all of these in the newsletter: PXE, COP, FANG, MPC, IEO, which is an ETF, EOG, SLB. So, and commodities are going nuts. TECH, which is I think that's the one. No, I'm sorry, TECK. TECK is Tech Resources. This is exposure to copper and gold. This is, if we go over here and we look at TECK. This one is a hold in the quant, but it's a materials. It's ranked 14 out of 47. If you want the number one, this is Hudbay Materials. Again, this was one that I saw yesterday. I thought it would TECK. Thought it might be a good one. Right now it looks like it's a little bit high. If you go to the weekly, is it high? Yeah. I mean, it's a little high, but it provides you exposure to gold and copper. That's big. Google yesterday hit an all-time high. Google hit an all-time high. Amazon is very close. Both of these are fairly valued. Do you want to buy Google right now? Google right now is down 0.5%. The market's down 1.31. I mean, do you want to buy Google? I think yes. I think before their earnings come out, I go on YouTube. I am seeing tons of political advertising. You don't think that Google's benefiting from that? I see that, Google may announce, hey, we're going to monetize AI like Microsoft is monetizing Copilot. Boom. That's a huge $10 per share bump in this. It's an all-time high. I do think that 150 is your buy below, sell over. But do you want to buy it now? I'm not adding to it because I already have a position. If you don't have a position in it, I think you should get it. Amazon is very close to an all-time high. We can talk about the all-time high here at 188. That's where it's going to bounce off of. You can see the past couple of days, it's bounced off of there, 187.29. Where did this candle go? 187.34. It's bouncing off that 188. Once it gets over that 188, expect it to explode. That right now is a resistance level. You are trading at 182. Does that make sense to buy it at 182 if 188 is your resistance level? No. But the second it hits 188, I would expect this one to explode. It is one of the cheapest of the great eight. I like this one. Am I buying at 182? No, I already have a ton of this. This is my number 2 or 3 position. It depends on the price of Microsoft and stuff, but it goes back and forth. Number 1 position is Apple. Number 2 is Amazon or Microsoft, depending on the day. Number 3, I think, is Google. I'm not quite sure, but again, that's a large portion of my portfolio. Both are fairly valued. We talked about Qualcomm. Let's talk about Costco. I bought Costco at 7.30. It's trading at 7.18 right now. Pre-market 7.12. It's down a little bit. This one's a little bit crazy to buy even at 7.30, but I didn't want to miss out on this. So I added some, but it was a small starter position. I will buy more. Costco is sitting on gold with its new business. Supposedly, people are going on the Costco website and buying gold bars. They have gold bars. They started selling gold last August and silver in late January. Kelly and his team estimate the initiative could be adding 1% to comparable sales and about 3% to general merchandise sales, although with just a minimal contribution to profit. Costco doesn't sell these at huge profits. They sell it at cost pretty much. There's a slight margin on it, not a huge margin. Our work suggests there's been significant interest given Costco's aggressive pricing and high level customer trust, the accelerating frequency of Reddit posts, quick online sellouts of the product, and Costco robust monthly e-commerce sales suggest a sharp uptick in momentum. So are they selling more? Yeah. This is in the core portfolio. It's a solid consumer stock. This one has been in the core portfolio since, I think, August of last year or so. Ironically, gets you a buy here at 713 in the algorithm. Now, the algorithm makes you 23%. What do you get if you bought and held it 2 years ago? 18.5%. The 4-hour algorithm is solid with this. Average win 6.98%. I would say you don't trade this. This is not one to trade. This is an incredibly expensive stock right now. I don't think that you get out of it because of it's expensive. I think you just buy it when the algorithm tells you, and you stay in it. Right now, it's super, super high. You can look at this valuation. The valuation is absolutely crazy. Even the peg forward, 4.93 versus 2.21. It's number 4 out of 11 consumer staples. Target is number 1. I mean, Walmart is number 5. Target is still a solid player in this industry. I think if they continue to get their stuff right, it is a strong buy in the quant. I think this one goes back to a $200 stock. We can look at Target real quick because I do still own this one. Am I adding to it? No. Am I adding to Costco? Yeah. I mean, unfortunately, I just like Costco more. Target just got you out with an 18% gain. Am I getting out of this one? Begrudgingly, it's in a retirement account. I may, just because they've let me down so many times before. And I could probably buy it down here at 162 or so. Am I sure of that? No, because every time we've had one of these pullbacks in the market where higher for longer takes over and the bond rates go up, we've seen it come back strong. In fact, remember, we were down at 434. You're at 436. If we look at the 5-minute on the Qs, we're going up. So I do want you to take a look at Costco because they are killing it. Target is another one. RCL, Royal Caribbean. Just to tell everybody, this is a one of the alpha picks. It's in the alpha pick for portfolio. It is still a strong buy here. This one has pulled back quite a bit. We want to take a look at this one because the strong buy, it started here when the stock was at 88. And it's come all the way up. Stock is now trading at 129 in pre-market. But it's got an A across everything except for valuation. And where's the valuation? Well, they don't give forward guidance. But the valuation on this one is just a C. Everything else it remains at a strong buy from a fundamental standpoint. So do you want to buy this one? We can go take a look. Let's take a look at some of the seasonality because, again, it's cruising. Norwegian Cruise Lines actually just put in their largest order for ships, saying that demand is just skyrocketing. If you look at this one, 10-year average in April, up 2.1%. 10-year average in June, up 3.3%. 10-year average that's May. 10-year average in June, down 3.5%. So what happens in June? Not sure, but you can see in 2022, we lost 39%. But look, in 2023, we were up 28% in the month. Look at May, up 23% in the month. So what do you want to do? You want to buy in April. And when do you want to buy? You want to buy when the algo tells you to get into this. Because of this pullback, we've gotten out of it. You got out with an 8.3% gain. This one makes you 46% in the algorithm. The buying and holding makes you 67%. Your average win in the algorithm is 22%. The problem isn't that the algorithm doesn't win. It's that it doesn't win a lot. It's 27% of the time. So when do you really want to take a look at it? Look at these last two, okay? Look at this big win. Where was the MACD? It was way down here. The RSI was at 36. Where was this big win? The MACD was down here, and the RSI was at 43. Where's this one going to get us in? Probably down here where the MACD is lower. It could trade sideways. You could get down here at 128. And this one, the RSI right now is at 43. So where do you want to get in? Again, where do you want to get in? You want to get in at one of those lows. You don't want to get in at these little ones where the MACD is kind of trading sideways, not really going up and down, but you see it right there. You don't want to get in there. You want to get in when the indicators tell you to get in. But RCL, put it on your watch list. It is one to add to. By the way, Roblox up over 40 again. How good is this? This just buy it under 40 and sell it over 40. Algorithm got you in at 37. It's up at $40.30. It is up 3%. Even though the market is down, there are opportunities on the beaten down stocks that have hope. And this is one that you just trade in this range. So do you want to buy it now? I'd say no. Could go under 40 again. Just buy it under 40. SoundHound. I know a lot of people have asked me about this one. Is there any hope? They just diluted shareholders. It is down 12% in pre-market. This is not one, again, I said trade this on a very short time frame. Even though you read that, NVIDIA put money into this, you don't want to trade this and hold this just because NVIDIA bought a bunch of it. You want to make sure that you understand what you're buying. This is a company that is not making money. Charlie from Zip Trader, he talked about crypto last night, but he talked about this one being a solid one that he would invest in. Ever since then, it's been down. You have no confirmation. Algorithm got you out back here with a 212% gain. You know what your average, your winning algorithm here, the 4-hour algorithm makes you 213% versus losing 45% if you bought and held this one. Again, if you bought and held, you lost 45% over 23.7 months. There's 23 total positions. Your average win 61%, but it gets you in and out. This is one that I pointed out that we are continuing down, we are continuing down, and we are continuing down. There is no reason to get into this, that we are continuing down. Until you break that trend, there is no reason to get into this. But SoundHound just diluted shareholders. Let's talk about social requests. Charlie from Facebook wants me to look at VLO. Makes good profit, has a good dividend. VLO, I think this is Valero, if I'm not mistaken. This is an energy stock. Again, I don't think there's going to be weakness in energy because energy is what's driving inflation. Commodities are driving inflation. Now, the algorithm on this one makes you 19%, whereas buy and hold makes you 70%. 70% in 24 months. We just opened up. This one's down 1%. Look at this little turn on the 4-hour. Right here, algorithm hasn't gotten you out. Won't get you out here. It won't get you out probably for a few candles on this 4-hour because the 4-hour does have some moving averages in it. And there's a gap here at 162. Do you want to buy this one? I'd say if you like this one, go out and get it. The valuation is going to be a little bit extended on this. We can go and we look. Let's look at FinViz so we can look at it so everybody has access to everything that I see on FinViz. 7.13 PE. Forward PE is 12. That means it's trading for more expensive than what they think they can pull in. The dividend, 2.41%, good dividend. Year to date, it's up 35%. Average price target, 172. You're trading at 175. So let's look at those price targets. April 8th, TD Cowen, buy. They say it's worth 190. Here in March, they say it's worth 173. They downgraded Mizuho. 7 days earlier, Bank of America said, hey, it's worth $210. So those are the most recent. So Charlie, I think if you want to get into energy and Valero, I don't think it's a bad one. I think you're just buying into all-time highs. You're buying into strength. It's not horrible. Doesn't mean it won't go higher. Let's take a look at the Valero on the quant in Seeking Alpha. It says hold, and it's the valuation and growth. Again, energy is not going to grow. It's number 4 out of 22, which is the oil and gas refining. What's number 1? Well, if you're a paid newsletter subscriber, I actually did this analysis in the paid newsletter this weekend. Sunoco, Par, Marathon Petroleum. Marathon Petroleum, by the way, is the number 1. I think that's the leading energy stock in the. Again, if you want, you can go and read you can get a free 7-day trial. It's this one, finding stocks in this choppy market. I go over everything in energy, and you can see Supermicro, NVIDIA, Constellation. What's the MPC? That's the number 4 stock in the S&P year to date. I go over exactly par and Sunoco. So VLO, I don't know that I'd necessarily get into it, Charlie, but I do think it's a good pick because it's energy. And if you want a little safety on this one, just go XLO. Look up an ETF with some of the refiners. You can Google that one. AJP he says, thanks for your answer. I'll never ask you for a price target again. This is for AJ from Spotify. I'm kind of new here, but I love your podcast. AJ, here's the thing. I am a grumpy old man. If I yelled at you not to ask me for a price target, it's not because, you asked for something wrong. It's just, I don't know price targets. I don't work on price targets. I look at some of these things. Roblox is a great example. I just look at the chart. I have some type of Rain Man ability to understand that, hey, $40 on this one. It's been trading in this range for a very long time, since November. In fact, this even goes back longer. I mean, we can go to the weekly here. I'm sure I've got a range here. Yeah. Look at this weekly. I mean, this goes all the way back to March of 2022. This is 2 years ago. And I've been saying, buy it under 40, sell it over. 2 years. So that's what I mean, AJ. I don't have it for every stock. So if you ask me about a stock, just, hey, what's the price target on this one? Or I think it was NVIDIA you asked me the price target on. I don't know. NVIDIA is just one of those that you just kind of buy. I don't really have a price target. It's moved so much, it's hard. Trenton from Spotify, thank you. You're awesome. Thank you so much for your input. Definitely helping college student out. That's what the podcast is about. I don't charge for a lot of this stuff, so most of this stuff is on a college student's budget. In college, I ate a bunch of Wendy's, and I think it was Two Boys was the 2 a.m. drunk place. Every college town has a 2 a.m. drunk place that you go to. Tristan, Gary, I'm torn to where to park the larger sum of my money between Snowflake, Dell, SMCI, Powell, SOFI, Norwegian, Boeing, Amazon, Mara, BRCC, Palantir, Apple, and MaxN. Help me identify the winner, please. Tristan, Apple. I mean, you've just listed almost your entire portfolio. I'm not going to go over the whole thing and tell you which one's the winner. But do not follow me into trades. And I can't tell you which one's the winner. I can tell you Apple, in my mind, it is overvalued. They have declining revenues. They're going to get hit by China again. They're going to have a bad quarter this year. I think they've got WDCC coming up. They've got, some type of announcement on iPhone 16s that are coming out. Do they do a deal with Google like they did for search, where they don't have to develop anything? They just kind of get the benefit of the AI development for a licensing fee, and they continue to buy stock back. I mean, that's what you have to worry about with Apple. But of those ones, I wouldn't put the large amount of your money into BRCC. I don't even know what that is. I wouldn't put your large amount of money into Amara because they're going to lose. I mean, the halving's coming up. It is no longer about trading on those miners. It is about trading on the ETFs and Bitcoin directly and Ethereum directly. MaxN, I have no idea what that is. Amazon, Norwegian, they're going to be fine. SOFI is a $10 stock. Powell is an alpha pick. You're fine with that one. SMCI, it's run. They're going to have tough comps in the next quarter. It's down to $8.99. This was down 4%. This one's come back. Everything's coming back. FYI, everything's coming back. The NASDAQ is at 437, going back to that 440. So, Tristan, I don't know which one's going to be the winner. I think, there are some in there that are absolutely kind of identified as losers in trades, but I don't know what your starting position is. Snowflake, anything under 200, you buy it and then oversit. Dell is a solid one. I own that one. I just started my position in that, but I can't go through the whole thing, and I don't know which one's going to be the winner. Bisco, have you looked at CLS Alpha Pick? CLS. This is from Bisco from Spotify as well. This is Celestia. It's an AI play. What else is new? But it just keeps marching higher after every pullback. Curious on your thoughts. It's down 1.47. Algorithm makes you 211%. Buying and holding over 2 years makes you 318%. If we go over to Alpha Picks, let's just go to Alpha Picks and let's look at CEL when they picked it. We can look at, I'll go over here because this is a great advertisement for how you do Alpha Picks for Bisco. I think he's got it. Yeah, CLS right here. So you click on this, you can see they picked it in 10/16/2023. That's when they picked it. If you want to look at Explore, if you want to look at the performance, let's look at analysis. We can go back to March of last year and we can put, let's see, or I'm sorry, it was October. Webinar, AlphaPix portfolio review, webinar, Energizer high voltage company, stock picking a potential dividend aristocrat here. This top stock drives results for, when was it? Hold on, I got to go back. This is what you basically do is you go and find the analysis of this portfolio, CLS, symbol picked. Let's see. It was 10/16/2023. So we go to the analysis and then we can go down to 10/16/2023. That's 2024. We go back to October of 2023. Here it is. High voltage company. Let's see. This is CLS right here. A leading supplier, manufacturing services and techie, CLS. Toronto, Canada headquarter is a top electronic manufacturing service with a focus on technology and capitalizing on the recent AI trend. Celestial has an expanded global offering group, If you want to read this, you can go and you can look at it. This is how you use AlphaPix. You go in here. It's a strong buy. It's number 1 out of 18 in its category. If we look at the strong buy came back here in, it looks like June. And ever since then, I mean, look at how good this quant is. Again, if you're into just looking at the quant and understanding this stuff, you can buy Seeking Alpha Premium. If you want the Alpha Pick and the analysis of it, buy AlphaPix. You don't get access to all of this research. You need both in order to do the research. But it's number 1 out of 18. When do you get into it? Well, that's when you use TrendSpider. And you say, okay, it had a buy here at 46.48. You're around that price right now. Are you going to win? Your wins are 36%. Let's take a look at one of the big wins. Well, look, the MACD was down here. The RSI was super high at 67. Your RSI right now actually is lower. Your RSI is at 47. Your MACD isn't quite down as far, but you don't have confirmation. You're kind of losing it. Do you want to buy it here? If this is one you want to put in and you want to look at it, yes, you buy it here. Look at that straight up performance. You have confirmation on the weekly. If you want to wait, and you want to wait until their earnings, which is April 27th, I'd say you wait on it. It is a fantastic, fantastic stock. I can't say enough about it. It is fantastic. This is just electronic manufacturing services. I know nothing about this, but look at the AlphaPix. I mean, AlphaPix just wins on this one, Pisco. So if you want to get in, it's still a strong buy. Monster Phaso. Hey, Gary, love your show. What do you think of TMDX, Transmedic Group? TMDX, Transmedic Group right here. Let me just close out that. They specialize in organ care systems for organ transplant. Once they figure out organ care systems for kidneys, it's a green shoot. It's a hold. The valuation is high. I mean, again, this is bio healthcare. I know nothing about it. When you look at they give nothing forward. The valuation is an F, and it's a hold right now in the quant. I would say if you don't want to get into it, it's number 25 out of 145. Number 1 in the quant is Vivani Medical. I don't know anything about them. They have a small market cap. If you want the biggest market cap with a buy, it's Medtronic. Medtronic right now has a dividend yield of 3.29. Valuation is D. That means nothing because if we go over to valuation on this one, we can look the forward gap, which is what they like, 3.07, but it's a B as far as the trailing 12 months and the forward PE. So I know nothing about it, Monster. TMDX, let's take a look at the stock real quick, the chart. I know nothing about the story. That's the problem. I can look at a technical standpoint, but I can't look at the story within a couple of seconds. Look, it was great. If you bought this at 75, you're winning. I mean, you're going to have the golden cross. You're fine. It's down 2% today. I don't think that this has a huge market cap. Let's see. Yeah, their market cap is $3 billion. Their forward PE is 162. Again, it's expensive. Target price 99. You're trading at 93. Your 52-week high is 99, so you're 6% down. If you think this will continue to go higher and the story is good, buy it. I mean, trade it. I just can't. I can't recommend it as a hold in the quant, just based on valuation. This is somebody, I forget their name. They texted me on Instagram. Hey, I was wondering if you can check out ATI, Allegheny Technologies. Let's look at ATI. Allegheny Technologies. Let's see. Algorithm got you in at $50.16. You're back down at $50.38. Algorithm loses you 1%. Buying and holding makes you 87%. So the algorithm doesn't really work on this over the last 2 years. It's been a straight shoot up. Algorithm probably is very choppy in this type of thing. But it looks like it's a solid stock here. We can go over to Seeking Alpha and we can look at ATI. Where is it in the quant? If they cover it. It's a hold. Stock winners if the Republican Party wins. What do these guys do? ATI. Produces and sells specialty chemicals and complex components worldwide. It operates in 2 segments, high performance chemicals and advanced alloys, blah, blah, blah. Nothing exciting for me. I don't know. I mean, it's a materials company, 17 out of 28. Your number 1, universal stainless and alloy product. Your number 2, AMR. You look at the biggest, Steel Dynamics is your number 1 steel stock. So this one is all the way down at 17. Nothing exciting for me. Nothing exciting on the chart. Nothing exciting. So, okay, scans. Apple had a cross up. Again, I would be extra careful. I would be careful. By the way, NVIDIA is up today. It was down 3%. It's up. This is what the drops give you. The drops give you these buying opportunities. Apple down about 0.85%. It's at 168. I think it's putting in this nice little shelf here. I don't think it's in danger of hitting that 200-day 152. It could. There is a significant lack of volume here between 160 and 170, but it's putting in a shelf. It's MACD kind of low. I mean, it hasn't performed well. So that if you want to add to it, you can add to it. Microsoft down 1% today. This is one you just want to add to. This AI stuff is going to add trillions of dollars to their market cap. It's going to be fine. Costco, we went about how they have a cross up here. 713, I think it got you in. It's trading at 710. The algorithm makes you 23% versus buying and holding makes you 18%. But take a look at your wins. Your MACD is low. Your RSI is high. This one, your MACD is low and your RSI is low. If they announce a membership increase, this one's an $800 stock. PanW, I went over it before. PanW is a tough one because does PanW get back above 300? I think so. I think this gap between 327 and 361 gets filled at some point. Not anytime soon. Not anytime before their earnings. They have to show their next earnings is key. If they, once again, announce a lower guidance, they're going to be screwed. And CrowdStrike is your pick. CrowdStrike or PanW, I'm not sure which one. Walmart in the core portfolio, this is a buy. Do you want to buy this one or Costco? I'd buy Walmart. If we go and we look at Walmart here in the quant, Walmart, I think it's a hold. Yes, it's a hold. And you can look at, let's look at the valuation of Walmart. It's a D-. Their PEG is 0.91. Sector median is 1. So if we go to Costco and we look at their PEG, their forward is 4.93. I'd rather buy Walmart just as a safety over Costco. It's just a cheaper stock. But those are the 2 top retailers. Snap, which is in my portfolio, it's got a cross up. I mean, again, this one, in my mind, comes back up here to this $12, $13 level at some point in time. It is tough to make it back to this gap, though. This is one that is incredibly overvalued. Snap is amazingly overvalued. You can see it's a hold in the quant. The PE forward is 62. They're not making money. Their PEG is 2.27. Their sector median is 1.3. So there's better places out there, but I do think you can trade Snap effectively. Lululemon got a cross up. One of the spider sectors, XLU, got a cross up. These are utilities which have gotten a bit of a run here. $60.91. What does this cross up mean? It just means that we've gotten an opportunity to go. Now, remember, this one's down 2% in this market. The reason utilities are down 2% is because higher for longer hurts utilities. Utilities have a high dividend, and that's what people use them for. As bonds continue to be higher for longer, utilities are going to get hurt. So here's the weekly, and I've said this. This is the range that you want to trade in. When you got down to this bottom at 55, that was the range that you wanted to trade in. It was clear and simple. Now you're right at the 200-day. That $66 is going to provide you resistance. You just had this death cross on the weekly, but it doesn't mean that it's going to stay down here. Look at how utilities have traded over the years. We'll go to a monthly. Over the years, it has significantly traded above its 200-day. So it's still trading above the 200-day. It hangs on that 50. This is just solid income. The MACD hasn't been down. When the MACD was down this low in 2009 during the housing crisis, you just saw it shoot up. So I think it's an opportunity. Again, it is for the Walters of the world who are sitting in their rocking chairs. This is not for somebody who's 25 years old to pour your entire portfolio into. No, don't do it. Don't do it. Anything else that all of these will be in the newsletter. There's some leveraged ETFs, UCYB. I don't even know what that is. UCYB. ARKK got a cross up. This is the ProShares cybersecurity monthly. This is the ultra. So this is 3 times levered on cybersecurity. $41 it got you in. Algorithm loses you 43% because it's levered ETF. This, traded on less than a 4 hour. That's what you want to do. This one was way up here, 48%, and it went all the way to 36%. But look at the top. If you traded this and held it when it was up there, you're out of your mind. MAGX, this is the MAG 7. This is the levered MAG 7, 2 times long, the Magnificent 7. This hasn't traded for very long, so you're not going to see it in the 4-hour algorithm here very well. But it got you a buy-in here at 27.04. Again, MAGX. DPST, we talk about this one all the time. This is the local regional banks, 3 times levered bank. The algorithm loses you 43%. You lose 79%. This is a decaying asset. So this isn't one that you want to buy and go into for a long time. Today, it's down 11%. It's down 11%. Banks are down. Goldman Sachs is down 2.83%, down below $400. So again, this is getting killed. 11% got you buying here at 74.34. You have an opportunity to buy this one, not while it's trading very well. Look at this range. I mean, this is why you use both technicals and fundamentals. Look at that range we've been in since the beginning of the year. February really. That's the range that we've been in there, and we're down at the bottom of this range at 64. So do you want to buy it and hope that it gets back up to 81? Maybe. If the soft landing is part of your thesis. By the way, SMCI back over 900. Remember this one, it was at 830. We can look at this one on a 5-minute chart. If we just pull this up, because it's now 9:51, and a 5-minute chart would give us enough of a day reading to see where this one is going. There's your 5-minute chart. And we can look at it here. It's April 10th. So where does April 10th start? This is the first. Yeah, there's 9:35. That is a 2% candle within 5 minutes. 2% within 5 minutes. Next one, 0.24. Next one is a 0.34. Next one is a 0.42. It's just it's choppy. It's just choppy. But in pre-market, if we open this up for pre-market, you'll see quite a bit of a move. Let's go to data, display extended hours. And then we go and look at that. I mean, this was 830 right here, and it just dropped down. It went from 894 down to 872. It got all the way down to 857. 857. So if you were to try and time this, again, I don't think that you could time this, But if you were to try and time this, you're up 5% in an hour. In an hour. And that's not a triple levered ETF. This is just a regular stock. So, yeah, check out the newsletter for all of the free newsletters during the week. The paid newsletters on the weekend, you can find that. Any of the things that I said, you got your Trend Spider, you've got your Seeking Alpha, you got your Alpha Picks, you got your Webull, you got your daily stock pick newsletter. You can sign up for Visible. Visible is my phone service. If you guys didn't know, Visible is the greatest thing out there. They just actually upped their services. And if you check out their plans, there's two plans. There's $25 and then there's $45. Here's the big news. Is that $45 now includes a watch. So if you're an Apple fanboy and you got the watch with the red symbol on the dial because you have it, and you're paying Verizon an extra $15 a month for their phone for their watch service, and your core service is at $90 a month. I don't know why you're not going to Visible for $45 a month. I have no idea why. Unlimited use of your phone as Wi-Fi connection at twice the speed of the internet of the Visible plan. You guys know I've done my podcast with the Visible plan. This $25 a month using my phone as a Wi-Fi connection. It's slow speeds, but it's perfectly fine. It's been fine. So, yeah, Visible. Best plan out. Again, this just saves you money. If you're looking for something simple, use my link and you get $20 off your first month. That's it. I mean, literally, you get $20 off your first month of phone service. That's what it is. So what's your first month? It could be $5. So I have no idea why nobody's signing up for that, but you should use these links. These links are there to save you money. That's all that I put up here is basically savings plans. So if you have any questions, hit me up. I will see you tomorrow. Bye-bye. VRO, have you become governor of Texas yet? Because the douchebag in Texas isn't doing a very good job. Look at SMCI just roaring back. Simon Property Group crashing. I mean, financials absolutely crashing. What's my Bank of America? Down 2.39%. I mean, this to me, absolute buying opportunity. $270. Shopify, anything under 80, I think you're fine long term. But again, Shopify is one of those that if you're in it for the short term, it doesn't look good. If you're in it for the long term, get this with a 7 handle. I continue to say that as long as you can get it with a 7 handle, I think you're okay. You've got as many gaps down as you've got up. There's a huge gap down here between 49 and 55. Could you get down there? I mean, the valuation, if they slow down, which it doesn't look like they are, but if they slow down, it's a strong buy in the quant. When has it been a strong buy? It's been a strong, it just turned to a strong buy. Just turned to a strong buy today. So the valuation is a D. When you factor in the growth with their 1.39. So yes, their price to earnings is crazy, but it's the growth that you really want to pay for. So Shopify, I mean, God, at some point in time, this goes back to cover this gap at 88. I mean, I think it's a $90. I said it before that it was an $80 stock when it was trading at 40. I think it's a $90 stock now that it's trading at 72. Does it come down lower? It could. You just had this death cross. That's not good. That's not great. But okay, it's 10 o'clock. I've got to get this show started because I got a lot of editing to do. 7 handle means $70. So usually a handle means the first number after the dollar symbol in the price. So 7 handle means 7. 7x.00. That was put in there when it was trading up here at like 86, 84. I think I put it even back here where it was 78 and maybe got up there to 90. But that's what a handle means. It just means that, hey, it's a 7 after the dollar symbol. If it's a 6 handle, it's at $60. HIMS is really good. It's the valuation. And again, I hate saying don't invest in something because of the valuation. HIMS, you make 209% on the algorithm, 202% versus buy and hold. Let's see. The valuation is the F. Just because, the peg, they don't put anything forward, but it's the valuation. I mean, it's healthcare. It's number 11 out of 58. Cigna Group is number 1. HIMS is just, let me see if they have some type of seasonality in here. You look at November, everybody's getting ready to boom shakalaka in December, so they're buying in November. Seasonality doesn't look good. Here's an article. The bulls say this is from March 21st. One of the best performing stocks with a 465% return. Bottom and 63% return year to date. HIMS has been look. This is, let's see, where's January? January, this was trading. Yeah, this is pulled back to January right here. January, this was trading at $8. So you've doubled your money. So it's not horrible. Healer Maris, I'm probably going to okay. I just reported that one. Because I don't know how you type in a different message or listen if you don't speak English. Oh, boy. Let's see. I'm logging in to see how bad my portfolio looks. HIMS is good. Part of the reason I got my healthcare coverage, God, that's harsh. I'm down 1%. It's because of Apple. I know it's because of Apple. Yeah, 1.36%. So the rest of my portfolio is outperforming. 1.04. I'm down. I'm actually matching the Qs. Ooh, Chris. That's really good. Care to share? Want to put the sharing of the algo? SL Ryan. Here's my thoughts on I've said it before and I'll say it again. If you buy legal weed, buy the stocks. If you are somebody who doesn't smoke weed, who only buys illegal weed, don't invest in these stocks. What makes you think that? By the way, if you share the link, Chris, I'll just kind of put it. I can throw it up there. But what makes you think that other people are buying regular weed? You just had a dilution reverse split 1 for 10. Doesn't mean you can't trade this, Sir Ryan. I think it's SL Ryan. Doesn't mean you can't trade it. Right now, look at that MACD crossing down. Look at how high the RSI is. Look at how the volume trended up and now is trending down. It just doesn't, I can't imagine anybody buying into this. But again, if you buy legal weed, if you're one to go into the dispensaries to buy your weed, then yeah, I would probably invest in it. But other than that, I don't think there's any reason to invest in this, because even if they legalize marijuana from a federal and they take it out of the law, does that mean that dispensaries just boom? No. It just means that, you know, the illegal stuff maybe gets cheaper. I mean, honest to God, you're going to squeeze the margins of the illegal stuff. And until they start cracking down on selling weed illegally, these guys have no chance. And so, you know, what they're doing is they're making it legal to sell it, but they ain't going to tax it. You know, they're going to monetize it by putting out licenses. So I don't understand the path to profitability for these types of businesses. Now, I do understand the path to profitability for the drink business. That with Constellation Brands and others, you know, Tilray Constellation Brand has a big drink coordination with Tilray, I think. Tilray and Constellation Brands. I think that's the one. But outside of that, I think you're just kind of praying and hoping. And I think there's better places in the market. You know, it's ranked number 102. What's number one? Terrace Pharmaceuticals. You look at some of these larger cap ones. Merck is the largest market cap up here. You know, you look at these market caps in the millions, they're just tiny. Yeah, Chris, you have TrendSpider, so you know. So mine was built on a tech. The 4 hour was built around Apple, Amazon, Google, a lot of that stuff, and it works on that stuff. You know, even Meta, I think you do better with buying and holding on Meta. Yeah, 129% versus 76%. But who's arguing if you're making 76%? Man, if I had a guaranteed way to get me in and out of something and guarantee, you know, a profit, that's what I'm going to do. It keeps you out of those huge downturns. So, you know, Apple is one where it makes a tremendous difference. 19% versus losing 0.9%. So, but it's good. It's, I don't want to sign. Yeah, if I see, what I just learned, Tyler, is I guess it wasn't a big deal for me to get version 12 because version 11 was kind of the same thing. But I understand people who had advanced autopilot or regular autopilot before, it's a huge jump. But for somebody with full self-driving who had it before, it wasn't that big of a jump. I will tell you, the old software on my Model 3, the chipset couldn't handle the new one. It just wasn't making decisions very well at all. My new Model Y, I used it a little bit on a local road yesterday. That was like a 45 mile an hour road. And it did okay. I mean, it's kind of the highway. So, okay. I am out of here. Chris, share your email me or, you know, send me through one of the socials the link to your thing. I'd like to see it. I'd like to play with it. I love seeing strategy. I go into the last time I went into Discord on TrendSpider, there were several strategies in there that I like to import. 4 stocks to watch, Baba. Memo to employees internal. Oh, is it? I don't see it in the chat. Yeah, it didn't show up. I don't know why. I bet freaking YouTube probably didn't put it in there. But it didn't show up. Yeah. Mike, if you put a stop 5% on some of those strategies, yeah, there's a good video. Let me see. Trading Rush is the if you Google Trading Rush. Jason has office hours today. Trading Rush MACD. 11 a.m. Oh, I'll jump on there. Sweet. Put it in Reddit. This is a great one. And what Trading Rush does, here, I'll share this. If you ever want to watch it, this was the video that started me down the algorithm of using MACD. My buddy Steve and I watched this. I think we were just looking, how to work the MACD. And we found that one. And it was unbelievable. I mean, it was great. And what he does is he puts in a 10%, I believe it's a 10% win to a 5% loss. And the MACD traded 100 times on Forex. And he was able, it was the best at the time. Again, it was 4 years ago, but it was the best indicator that gave him a response. So I think, I always say this, and I know Mike and Chris, you guys have TrendSpider, and anybody else that has TrendSpider. I think back testing is one of the most fun and interesting things to try and come up with a strategy of a technical sense. And mixing that with the fundamental, I think there's no stronger way to assure that, hey, I can find winners. That's kind of the way to look at it. Let's look at the seasonality for Apple. Monthly, and we'll go back to, let's go back to 1981. And wow, 59% was positive with a mean of 3.72. Yeah, that I could never do. There's no way I could ever get it that high. No, I think I can come up to my elbow with my toe. Okay. Oh, it's yoga time, and then I got to put all this together. I'm out of here. Chris, I'll look forward to that on Reddit. I'll find it.